Welcome everybody to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for coming back to Astro Updates for August 29th. And also thank you for any likes and subscribes. That super helps me a lot. And this channel really is all about for people who are starting to get interested in astrology or know some, a little bit. That's why I call it a school. So even though I'm doing current events right now, I will be adding educational value to those for sure. And of course, look in the description box, and I literally have a table of contents for all the videos in my video playlist called Astrology for Beginners. So if you have any questions like Pluto, that's the Pluto glyph, the Saturn glyph, you know, anything like that, just go to check those out, and hopefully you'll learn something. Okay, so what's happening? What happened in the past? Well, remember we had that new moon right here at 0 degrees Virgo, and we got a yod out of that. Okay. And we're going to have another one too here coming up because Mercury's coming up right behind this sun moon. But the only thing I really noticed around the new moon was it seems like there's talking about the orange one's health has become huge. And Virgo is one of our health signs. Virgo and Pisces, they oppose each other. But there are two main focuses when it comes to health issues, basically. So that was the only thing I could really notice. And then, of course, last night, where I'm publishing this on the 29th, on the 28th, we got Uranus sextile Neptune. Now, on August 11th, Uranus sextile Saturn. And because these guys are like within a degree, we can't really separate them. So this is really our kind of our last peek of the future in an interesting way. Because remember this, we've got our, this is our wobble sheet. And just to refresh your memory, like Pluto wobbled in 2024. And what I mean by that, it went from Capricorn to Aquarius, back and forth with the retrogrades, but crossing into two different signs. So the same thing like Saturn and Neptune, they're wobbling between Aries and Pisces. Uranus is wobbling between Gemini and Taurus. And we had the Venus and Mercury both wobbled here back earlier this spring and such. But anyway, so what's going on is right now we still have Neptune in Aries. We still have Uranus in Gemini, and we still have Saturn. Well, on September 1st, Saturn is going to go back into Pisces. And notice I have September 2nd written here because it actually happens like at 11 o'clock Pacific time on September 1st. And when I made this sheet, I was obviously looking at an Eastern Standard Time calendar, so excuse me. But here now we're going to start going back to the past. And like I've told you guys, you know, here's Neptune going back into Pisces, retrograde. Uranus goes retrograde, back into Taurus, okay? The same thing here. So I was really concerned that we were going to be going, you know, one step forward, 2 or 3 steps back with all of this going back into the old here this fall and into December and a little bit. But then we start to break up in January. But anyway, but I'm feeling a lot better about this, that we're going to have our eyes open when we're going back over this rehashing. That's what retrogrades, all those R words, rehashing, redoing, decorating, whatever it is. Okay. So that's really kind of what I wanted to show you this sextile here, because I'm calling this my sextile star, because what this is doing is dividing up the 360-degree circle into 60-degree units, into sextile units. And you can see we've got Pluto and Uranus. They're even trying one another. There's that trine energy, okay, from Uranus to Pluto. And then, of course, it would go over there to Libra, you know, because trines are always the same element. So here we've got air, air, air. And just remember, it's Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay. Now, with Saturn going back into Pisces, you know, Saturn is our planet of the cosmic cop, authoritarian, can be pretty tough on us, that's for sure, but it is fair. I mean, if you've worked really hard, paid your dues, all that good stuff, Saturn will reward you. And you will, you know, whether that's money, love, whatever it is. But if you've tried to cut corners and maybe do things sneaking around people and stuff like that, Saturn is also our planet of accountability. So you will be brought up to accounts there. Saturn is also the end of our 3D consciousness in a way, because it's the last planet we can see with our naked eye. So, so it is sort of the end of one part of our consciousness now, what we can see anyway. Now, with Saturn going into Pisces, just remember it's going over that 0 Aries point, that primordial degree, the beginning of the zodiac. But just as important, it's going to be going into 29 Pisces. And that is the critical degree, the anorexic degree, not only of Pisces, but of the whole zodiac. And the way I look at 29 Pisces is this is where we're capable of the stillness. And what I mean by the stillness is like when you take a breath, especially for meditation, you'll notice just as you inhale, there's a slight teeny tiny little pause, and then exhale. It's a little teeny tiny little pause. Inhales, etc. So when we change directions, there's this stillness. And that's what I mean, that we are going to be capable during this time to get in touch with that stillness. So there's going to be this really quiet inner resolve, I think. And that's going to be on society's level as well as individuals. As we go back into this Pisces with all this knowledge that we've gotten here with the looking at what it's going to look like. Because remember, when Neptune goes into Aries this last time down here in January, it's going to be in Aries for 14 years. So these are big, big changes going on here. Okay, so I think with being down here in Aries for a little bit, we've started to get a feeling for truth, confidence, clarity, what that is and what we want it to be, that kind of thing. And with Saturn in Pisces, the other thing this is a big symbol of, and again personally as well as on a societal level, is think about what you can release. And it might be anything from, like, one of my promises to myself is to clean out my closet. I might even go back and do my garage too. You guys have heard, anybody who's been watching me for a while, you know my garage has been my issue. But anyway, that being able to let go at that 29th degree. Now, some kind of negative things that Saturn and Pisces can be, it can kind of activate our paranoia because we can't see what's going on or anything. In fact, look, this is the key for the tarot key for Pisces. Let's see if we can get this up here. Get this. There we go. And you can see it's called the moon. And just think about the moon. If you've ever been out at a full moon outside, I mean, you can see, but everything is very silver and gray. Colors are hard to see. And you can see there's sort of a lunacy. I mean, look at the look in those dogs' eyes and stuff. And here we're seeing all the phases of the moon. It could be a full moon, a new moon, a balsamic moon, all those good things. So anyway, I think that's a good interpretation of Pisces, is looking at the moon card there. Okay, so I'm going to put that over there. And I tell you what, if anybody can help me figure out how to do lighting, let me know. See how it looks good there? I've tried everything. I've got this ring light. Anyway, okay. Keep moving. All right, so So there can be some like lonely feelings. Another thing too, Saturn and Pisces could avoid responsibility, not too good. But just remember, just like kind of with Virgo here, these opposite signs, if you feel really lost and you don't understand what's going on in your life here, serve others. Go out and volunteer. I know that sounds kind of lame, but that is how you'll start to understand yourself more and more. So, so just remember that service, especially with Pisces and our Virgo energy we're in, could be very important. Okay, what else? Saturn and Pisces, skeletons can come out of the closet. I've got my fingers crossed. And we can be fearful, though, of these things coming out. We can be fearful of our own feelings coming out. Another thing to watch out with Pisces is, drugs. That can be anything from alcohol to whatever. Difficulty sleeping, that kind of thing. And also, with Saturn and Pisces, check yourself. If you're, even astrological interpretations, but if you're, if you're having to make a decision or something like that, get another pair of eyes on there, or sleep on it 2 or 3 nights, that kind of thing. Okay. And again, this wobble. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about the wobble here. Now, I've kind of been like, oh, it's the wobble will be complete at the end of April in 2026. And that's true, but don't think about that this, as soon as this wobble is over, that everything's going to go back to normal or everything's going to be great. All this means, at least right now, what I'm thinking is that once we get through this period, at least we'll be able to see reality a little bit. We'll be able to have a stronger ability to just chart our own course and not be so getting jerked around back and forth between all this kind of energy doing all these different things to us. We'll be able to feel more confident about where we're going in the future, I think. So that's good. Okay. Now on September 2nd, that's when Mercury is going to go into Virgo. And I am going to change these so we can see our yod. So this will be just like when we saw the sun and the moon create this same yod before. So what this is a yod is 2 150-degree aspects pointing at the same planet. So that's what we've got here. And luckily enough, Mercury's going to be right there at like 0. So each sign has 30 degrees. So 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. So there's our 150 up to Pluto. And then 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. And we're getting that yod coming from that Saturn, Neptune, and the Pluto here. And the other way we can see that is that there's a... Whoa! Stuck to my gloves there. It can... There. It's a little better. We can see that sextile, that 60 degrees between the two planets that are focusing down on this. And, of course, at the same time, just like the sun did, there's going to be this square between Mercury and Uranus, okay? And let me just tell you, this could be, the new moon might have just been warming us up. So, because we could really see some crazy secrets coming true. Now, let me just also point out, Saturn's already gone into Pisces. So it's still gonna, remember we said it was Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, that was the order. It's still going to be in that same order. It's just that Mercury is going to inconjunct Saturn just before, I mean literally minutes before it goes into Virgo. And then it's going to immediately square Uranus, inconjunct Neptune, and inconjunct Pluto. Over about, I don't know, this inconjunct happens on September 3rd at like 4 in the morning or something. So in between that, like September 2nd, pretty much a 24-hour period it's going to take to do this. So get ready. We could have some real drama on this one, okay? Well, I shouldn't say that. I only say that just because we've got Mercury, Mercury rules Virgo, is exalted in Virgo. Mercury rules Gemini. So we could get some really crazy surprises coming out of this one for sure. But when I think about it with Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, though, Virgo is, it's mutable Earth. So it will have that, just the facts, ma'am. So something may come out kind of a little bit out of nowhere, but just be very, this is what happened, A, B, C, D, all that kind of stuff. So it could be interesting. We'll see. Okay, so that's on September 2nd. Then on September 4th, we've got, and I'm going to take these guys off. We're going to have Mars square Jupiter. Okay, so Mars is up here in Libra. I'll put him right here. And Jupiter's down here in Cancer. So remember, squares always happen by modality. So this Libra's cardinal air, cardinal water. So remember, Aries is cardinal fire. Capricorn is cardinal earth. And let me just show you, I'll put this square so you can see that, and you can see how those signs do square each other, and that'll be a good square right in there. And this could be a big one, okay? In that, Mars is kind of known for being a little, in Libra, a little passive aggressive, because, Libra's ruled by Venus, so Mars isn't that happy there. But Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Jupiter just loves it down here, right? And just remember, Jupiter expands whatever it touches, for good or for bad. So squaring to Mars, then Mars is our war and conflict. So we could see some war issues coming up, blowing up, or just some conflict type things blowing up out of proportion too. Now personally, you may just feel busy, 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 busy all the time, So watch out. Jupiter can give us some optimism, so watch out for biting off more than you can chew. But you'll be feeling this, and this, like I said, this is like around September 4th. You're just going to be feeling this go, 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 go energy. But again, now remember I said whenever you hear messages once, twice, here's another one. Take a breath. Count to 10, all right, before you jump into things. Because this energy can actually be pretty helpful if you've got a plan, okay? If you've already planned something out, you just might be go, go, go completing that plan. The energy you want to watch out for is this, just this real, just impulsive. That's the word I'm looking for. Just very, very impulsive. If you're finding you're feeling yourself feeling reckless and, I don't care how it turns out, I'm just going to go do it. That's the energy you got to watch out for sure. Okay. Another thing too with Jupiter, because, Jupiter is the ruler of Sag. You could get involved in like some crusade kind of energy, okay? Holy crusade, watch out for that getting destructive, okay? You don't want to be so up on your, that you've got this all figured out, that you know how it's going to go, that you've got it, but Mars can throw some wrenches in there, so just be careful there. Okay, then on September 5th, Uranus is, and that's when I'll be talking to you guys again. That's next Friday. Uranus at about 1 degree Gemini, air mutable, is going to go retrograde and start going backwards. So I'll talk about this a lot more next time. But I just wanted to get you thinking about that's coming up. And also on September 7th, there's going to be a full moon eclipse about 15 degrees of Pisces. So kind of circle that on your calendar too. So anyway, I think I've gone over everything I wanted to. And so I just want to say bye for now. And it's so great to have you all watching. Oh, I know. One more thing I wanted to mention about the Virgo glyph. This is what, so if you're looking in your own chart, Virgo will look like this M with a little thing like that because she's actually holding a sheath of wheat. And this is the one that's easy to get mixed up with. That's the Scorpio glyph. And you can see how they look very similar on this one. So just remember, if it's got the little arrow, it's Scorpio. If not, because people do weird things with this Virgo glyph. So anyway, so thank you guys so much. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, now if you want any more information, I'm just going to do a quickie on rising signs because I have got several questions on that. So here's part 2 of August 29th. Now, when you're born, and let's just say you're born in the sign of Aries in March, right? So the sun during that time is always, when the sun is rising, that's going to be the rising sign. I've gotten a lot of questions about, people don't understand how you get rising sign, and I totally get it. It's very confusing. So your sun sign will be in Aries, and only if you're born though right at dawn will your rising sign be Aries, because this wheel literally goes all the 360 degrees around in one day. Okay, and then every day it's just a teeny bit further, so that like the rising sign, one will be at 0 degree the first day, and then 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees. That's why we have 30 days in a month, basically, or usually. So if you're born, and this horizontal is imagine you just, when you, for an astrology chart, it's like you've walked into your chart and you're standing like this. So this is up above your head, this is down at your feet, this is your right hand, this is your left hand, and you're standing facing south, okay? And you hold your chart up in front of you like that. I would do that, but everything would fall down. Okay, so let's say you're born about noon. Well, what's going to happen is the sun is still in Aries. It's not going to change if you're born during Aries, but the rising sign is going to be like Cancer, okay? If you're born a little before noon, the rising sign will be more like Gemini. Now, these are rough, of course. And then later, and then as the sun sets, see how the sun's coming around here to setting, we're going to have a rising sign of Libra. If you're born more like, well, then it's going to change sign. But anyway, change days. But if you're born around midnight, your rising sign is going to be like Capricorn. So see how this wheel moves? And I hope that's explained it well enough that so that you have a little bit better understanding of that. Okay, so that's it. That's it for good now. So just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye.